if, criminal justice reform is something you believe in, if changing the systematic, lynching of black people is something that you think needs to be stopped.
Metaphorically or literally, yes.
Yeah, then you have a candidate.
Right.
And it's...
You have one choice to prevent that. Or, if you believe in Hillary's policies,
so systematic lynch. If you want, in this election, you have one choice if you want to stop the systematic lynching of black people. If the systematic lynching of black people is occurring at the highest levels of American government, wouldn't that have been made a priority by, say, the first black president? If the systematic lynching of black people is worse than ever in 2016, isn't there someone who would maybe put that on his agenda of things to do, say, the first black president? Isn't that a possibility? Can you believe that this is something they actually said? These words came out of their mouth? And they have no sense that, oh, wow.
They said them, and it almost comes off as if they believe them, too. So,
yeah, it almost comes off as they are so desperate in trying to paint. Listen, I have issues with Donald Trump. Him being a racist is not one of them. Mm-hmm. And he certainly is not advocating for the systematic lynching of black people. This is what they are saying out there. These are what they conclude to be valid arguments on the left. I watched this. I'm sitting like, don't you like Barack Obama? Like, why do you want to blame him for systematic lynching of black people? You want to say that Donald Trump running for president has led to more systematic lynching of black people? It's one of those, I don't even have a place to file it in my head as I try and make sense of it. Speaking of which, Black Lives Matter has updated their official demands.
This is on paper now.
Yes, it's on paper. We're bringing it up on our screen.
That's good stuff.
But it's on paper, but you can see this. So these are the reparations for past and continuing harms. Now, Jared, I want to see if you can notice a trend here.
A trend.
Okay, so I'm going to read these for those listening terrestrially. Number 1, reparations for the systemic denial of access to quality educational opportunities in the form, here's the thing, reparations, like, okay, they want to fix a solution, but the form is what matters. They haven't even reached their final form yet. This is transitional period. In the form of full and free access for all black people, including undocumented and currently and formerly incarcerated people, to lifetime education.
I want, me, mine, now.
So you say that, and I do see that thread.
You do see that. Well, this is the first
point there.
They just want free education for whether you're a felon, prisoner, whether you're a citizen or not, free education. This is officially in Black Lives Matter. We have it right here, their policies. Number 2, let's see what other suggestions they have. Reparations for the continued divestment from, discrimination toward, and exploitation of our communities in the form of, see that tricky word, it's in the form of.
In the form of.
Guaranteed minimum livable income for all black people with clearly articulated corporate regulations. So in the form of a guaranteed minimum livable income, which for them is at least $15 an hour for all black people, period. So they don't specify you even have to work.
Give me. I need.
We're noticing a trend here.
There's a trend.
Yeah. But let's go on. Listen, maybe they have something valid to offer. Maybe they have something about loaded shotguns aimed at cops and how to better handle these situations as we move forward.
That'd be a handy manual.
Number 3, reparations for the wealth extracted from our communities through environmental racism, slavery, food apartheid. Okay. Housing discrimination and racialized capitalism in the form of, take a guess where this is going. Corporate and government reparations, focused on healing ongoing physical and mental trauma and ensuring our access and control of food sources, housing, and land. And if you click the link, it's basically guaranteeing food, housing, and land. This is, I don't know if you're noticing.
I want potato chips. You'll get nothing and like it.
That's the way I think you should respond. I can go down the rest of the list, but I'm sure you can guess what it's like. Again, we will have this up at louderwithcrowder.com. Ongoing physical and mental trauma. What physical trauma would a young black person in 2016 be facing that the government would pay them for? What do they think this is, Roots? Do they think it's like 12 years a slave? Are they getting lashed? You have Sean King and Rachel Dolezal competing to be black.
Every day is just an America's Got Talent competition in their backyard. They have to do it just to get to work and get paid just $2 an hour.
$2 an hour. Don't you know? There's nothing
crazy.
even close to a living wage. Here's one thing, too. I'm amazed that nobody else talks about this. Is this not incredibly demeaning? First off, I know plenty of black people, conservative and liberal, and we've had plenty on the show. None of them are Black Lives Matter advocates, unless they're working on CNN. None of them. Not a single one. Not a single black person at my church who was voting for Hillary Clinton. Not a single one is a Black Lives Matter advocate. They assume to speak for all black people, and when they have that platform, everything you read is black people are incapable of providing anything for themselves, so all of this must be free. Education, healthcare, housing, food, jobs, all of it must be guaranteed and free. That's the message they want to send young black Americans. Oh my God, do I have zero sympathy left to give these people. Aim-loaded shotguns at cops? You're going to get shot. Ask us for free stuff for all time? No!